Hi, my name is Linry, and this is nail art done easy. But first, if you enjoy nail polish related content or someone who's just doing tomfoolery on the internet, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It'd mean oh so much, and thank you to the people who've already hit that button. I am so close to 2,000 subscribers. It's kind of blowing my mind. I honestly can't thank you guys enough. So I would like this to be a series on my channel, and I do have some goals for this. I want to keep this accessible to everyone of all skill levels in their nail art journey, and I want to keep it accessible to everyone who has nail lengths of varying degrees. So I'm doing nail art that can also be done on extremely short nails. So you nail biters out there, I'm tired of hearing you all say, I can't do nail art because my nails are too short. Here you go. Here's some easy, fun nail arts for you. What you will need for these nail art looks is a brush, a dotting tool, and some kindness to yourself. Please be patient with yourself if this is the first time you're attempting nail art. Nail art is practice. Art is practice, and the more you practice, the better you will get. So have a little bit of kindness towards yourself. You will get this down eventually. I believe in you. Let's get into it. The first nail art look that we are doing today is a patchwork nail art. This is extremely easy and simple and has such an amazing payoff. Now, this nail art is meant to practice your line work, as this nail art has a just homey feel to it, so if your lines aren't perfectly straight, it's still going to look successful because it's not supposed to be straight, it's supposed to be a patchwork look. You do want to make sure you pick some particularly opaque polishes to work with, so today as my base color, I am using Holo Taco's Oh My Gourd, and I'm using Color Club's Follow Me as my purple, and Holo Taco's Not Pressed as my green. My black today is going to be Holo Taco's One Coat Black. You don't need the exact same polishes I have, just opaque polishes of any color will work, and if you want this to be Halloween themed, sticking with greens, oranges, and purples is an excellent way to solidify that Halloween look. So sticking to your oranges and your purples, very important if you want this to come off as Halloween, and you can, like, a green obviously will always work for Halloween. Now first, what you want to do is just slap on some color. Put the color wherever you want it. It's okay, it doesn't have to be a perfect square or a perfect circle. Just splotch it on wherever. But most importantly, if you are taking your polish to the edge of your smile line like I am, your free edge, make sure to wrap your tip. This is very important because when you top coat this, your top coat will have the potential to pull that color back, and then you'll see the undercolor. So just make sure if you're taking your second color or your third color to your free edge, make sure to wrap that color. Just wrap your tip, that way it doesn't pull away when your top coat dries. Now we're gonna place down our lines. Now these don't have to be perfectly straight. This is a wonderful time to practice your dexterity and trying to keep your brush straight. But if it doesn't turn out straight, it's still gonna look hella cute, I promise you. Even if your lines are all wiggly, it's still gonna look immensely cute with the fact that it just looks like someone just quickly patched it together. But I would suggest taking your time with this, trying to make sure you are painting this straight. That way you can practice straight line work. It is very difficult to get line work straight, and this is just a wonderful opportunity to practice. Now, what you are noticing right now, what I am doing, I am anchoring myself. You see my right pinky just touching my left thumb, keeping my right hand still. This is what we call anchoring in art. You want to anchor yourself, that way you calm down the shake of your hand. We all have a natural shake in our hand, some of us more, some of us less. I actually have a natural tremor in my hands, so my hands are all the time shaking. This helps keep your hands steady. You just want to anchor yourself, and it will help keep you steady as you paint out. After you've finished outlining all your blobs, then you just take a little bit more extra paint and you just paint straight little lines across, connecting each one. Now, what I find that is very successful is what you're seeing right here is I'm painting straight lines across on one side of it, and then when I go down to the next layer, I'm intermingling them. They're not touching, those lines aren't touching, they're off center of each other. and I feel like this gives it a much more natural feel, and it looks a little bit cleaner in that sense. You can have your lines kind of touching and intersecting. It's not a big deal, but this does help create a little bit more of a cohesive look. And now here's the look on short nails. Okay, I understand it's completely and utterly unhinged what I've done, but I feel like it demonstrates that you can do nail art on short nails. You do have a little bit less of space, but I think it's still a very, very successful look. Now, obviously, you can see I actually did do a mistake while doing my short nails. I painted too much of my green just on my free edge, making it so I didn't have enough room for my purple. But even with that mistake, that I didn't leave enough of a gap for my orange, it still looks cute. This is such a great nail art. No matter what your mistake is, it is completely covered up by the design idea. It is an absolutely wonderful nail art to try as a beginner nail artist. Now, you do want to make sure your base polish is dry. I waited until my polish was touch dry, and the more you do nail art, the more you'll get a feel for how dry your polish is. But normally waiting for something to be touch dry normally takes about 5 minutes. So just make sure your base colors are dry before you go in with your secondary color or your third color, and especially make sure all those layers are dry before you go in with your black. You don't want to be dragging your polish along. So about 5 minutes should be long enough. The next nail art look that is up is a blood drip nail art. Now this is an absolutely fun nail art to do, and I'm choosing it specifically to teach you all the mother, father, child rule of art. Now I don't know what its actual name is called, but that is what my art teachers called it, the mother, father, child. Varying heights make something look more interesting, and rules of 3 make things look that much more interesting to the human brain. So uneven numbers and uneven heights. This is a great tool to take with you on your art journey, as the human eye is extremely good at detecting symmetry, and anything that's super symmetrical will kind of look off to us. Humans like to look at things that have varying heights, different wavelengths, and odd numbers. It just looks more visually intriguing to us as just a whole. So take your dotting tool and place 3 uneven dots on your nails. Now, they can be even, but this is gonna look a little bit off. When you finish your look, you're gonna be like, something looks really weird about this if they are all absolutely even. You want varying heights and avoid steps. By steps, I mean putting it child, mother, father. You don't want to go up in steps, as again, that will look very odd to the human brain, and you'll just catch something that looks slightly off. Again, it's not wrong, it's nail art, but this is to create a more intriguing look. And you can do even numbers, but again, it just looks slightly off to the human brain. The human brain is just like, I don't know, something feels weird about this. An odd number looks a little bit more intriguing to our brains. So I did mother, father, child on my nail, and this is a great way. You just take your dotting tool, you dot, 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 3 little dots, that's fine. Then you take your brush and bring it all the way to your cuticle, all the way, all 3 of them. Then you go back in and kind of wiggle it now. Now you wiggle it. This is where, again, you don't have to be absolutely perfect. Blood splatter doesn't look perfect. So you just wiggle back and forth, bringing it all the way to your cuticle line. And I think this is absolutely integral. When you do your little connections between the blood spatter, make sure that is uneven as well. Bring one down further than the other. You want this to look uneven, as again, blood spatter is not an even thing. So bring one down lower than the other, and this will create a more organic and just more visually intriguing look. And honestly, this is a nail art look that I think looks way better on shorter nails. As you can see, when I did my short nail art look, it looks a lot more interesting. For some reason, having that long drip just doesn't look as visually intriguing as my short nail. So nail art can be done on short nails, and sometimes it can look more successful on short nails. Trust me. I think this looks absolutely cute, and I went for a red polish that was slightly opaque, that its opacity levels were slightly off. because the way blood clots and moves, it just doesn't move in a very even pattern, so I felt like it would look a lot more interesting to have just varying levels of opacity on my nails, and I feel like this looked absolutely successful. I feel like it looks so adorable. The next nail art look are these cute little bubble skulls, or as my fiance calls them, ghosts. These are extremely easy, and all you'll need is a large dotting tool and a small dotting tool. I also did this and broke one of the rules I just told you, just to show you that, yeah, it looks slightly off. There should have been a 5th skull there because I did 4. So what you want to do is take your big dotting tool and just place a few random boop, 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 boop dots on your nail. I would stick with 3 or 5. It just looks more visually appealing. Then you take your tiny itty bitty dotting tool and you just add 3 little dots to the bottoms of them. You can flip them, you can rotate them. It doesn't matter the directionality of them. I just put them all facing down. So you take your dotting tool, you just carefully dot it on the bottom of your circle, making little semicircles. Then wait for that to dry and take that small dotting tool yet again in a black polish and dot little eyes on it. They can be of varying sizes, or you can make them as large as you want or as small as they want. The larger you go, the cute factor goes up with the larger the eyes are. As you can see, the skulls with bigger eyes just look a little bit cuter, at least to me, but those are little skulls done easy. And as you can see, this nail art is easily achieved on smaller nails, as I was able to put 3 little skulls on my nail. I feel like the short nail look was far more successful than the long nail look, as I went with 3 skulls instead of 4. I should have really done 5, but I really wanted to show you that odd numbers look just a little bit more interesting on your nail. The next nail art look that is up is a mummy. Mummies are so easy. You just want to pick a flesh tone color. I went with Hollow Taco's Solo Mission, as I felt like it looked kind of like decaying flesh. But any flesh tone will work. You can even go with a green skin tone or anything like that. It will work successfully. So once your base coat is dry, you want to take a large dotting tool and put 2 white dots somewhere at the top. Somewhere at the top. These are his eyes. You want to put eyeballs on. They can be as close as you want. They can be as far apart as they want. Honestly, if they're far apart, it's gonna look absolutely adorable, as it's just gonna look so dorky and cute. You don't need symmetry on your mummy. Now this is a wonderful way to teach you how full your brush is. So you want to take your nail art brush and just paint random lines across your nail. You don't want to bring them across his eyes. You want to make sure his eyes have a little bit of space. That way they keep readability. But this is a great way to feel your brush, to feel the drag. So when you take your brush and you start painting these lines across your nails, you're going to start to feel the polish is drying a bit, and you're going to feel a bit of drag. But because this is a mummy, it's going to give you a wonderful, wonderful texture of just kind of tearing apart bandages. So this is a great way to figure out when you need to refill your brush and when you need to reach for more polish. I personally like to start with a line under the eyes and above the eyes. That way it helps me map out where I can go and where I can't. And then I start from working from one end of the nail to the other in straight lines. Now this is going to be a lot easier for you than it was for me as I was trying to also film my process. So you can actually rotate your nail instead of bringing your brush across. You can actually just put your brush down on your nail and then move your nail around your brush if you want to create those straight lines as well. But because I was filming it, my only option was to bring it across. You will also see my other hand move with my brush, as this is another technique of trying to complete that line. You can move and wiggle your fingers around. But this is a great way to practice straight lines, as again, these lines don't have to be straight. It's a mummy, his bandages are falling off, and a great way to test texture. Figuring out when your brush is drying, how long you have to work with your polish. This is a time-sensitive art project, so it is a great way to get a feel for your polish. After you are finished with your lines, make sure some of them crisscross. You don't want to overfill your canvas with lines. Sometimes less is more. As you can see, I only have 9 lines going across my entire nail. You don't need that many. Less is more. But once you're finished with your lines, you want to take a black polish and just dot the center of his eyes. It can be the center, it can be him looking down, it can be him looking up, it can be him cross-eyed. He's a mummy. I don't think he's looking at much. Those eyes are probably very dry. And I just took my brush again and added little eyebrows. I feel like making him look angry is really cute, and a great tip for just little arts is eyebrows down and in, angry. Eyebrows up and out are sad. Eyebrows straight across, they're bored. So if you want your mummy to look angry, make sure they are in and down. If you want him to look sad, make sure they are up and out. And if you want him to be bored, just put a cross. You could also give him a unibrow. That would be so cute. And as you can see, I was a bit more successful on my small nail look, as I did 5 lines, and again, less is more. Look how much more I accomplished with a smaller canvas. I think it looks absolutely adorable. It looks like he's just about to pop out and grab you. And for my last nail art look, this is just a simple bone. Bones are so easy. They look difficult, but I promise you they are easy. You just need a dotting tool and a brush. Take your dotting tool and put 2 little dots on your nail. They can be kissing or they can be slightly spread apart. You don't want to keep a huge gap between them. Just make sure they're close enough that they could touch each other. Then, slightly further apart from your 2 dots, add another 2 dots. Then you just take your brush and connect the middle of both of those circles that you have just made. Those kissing circles, you just want to connect them. And an easy bone. Oh my god, this is so simple. It's cute, it's effective, and I promise you it's gonna look so cute. Now again, on my long nail art look, I decided to show you guys how something can look incorrect doing even numbers. 2 bones on my nail, it just looks meh. It's not visually intriguing. But on my short nail art look how much more intriguing it looks. The canvas is now full, and I did something that also helps the visual intrigue. I have one of the bones coming off my canvas. It just makes the human brain just a little bit more happier. It makes us look at it, it brings our eyes off the canvas and then back onto the canvas. It's just a little bit more visually stimulating to look at. Odd numbers and things floating off the page. But yeah, that was nail art done easy. Hopefully this video has given you more confidence into attempting nail art, and just hopefully it has helped break down the process for you. I know I'm not a very good teacher. I'm hoping to improve that skill set I have. I feel like a lot of my tutorials just boil down to the rest of the fucking owl. Just remember, nail art is about practice, and the more you do it, the better you will get. If you noticed, my short nail art looks were much more successful than my long nail art looks. That's because my short nail art looks was done second. That means that was the second time I'd done that nail art. And you can see just from doing it twice how much I improved upon myself, because I realized my mistakes along the way. Art is practice. You learn something every time. Your failures are better than successes because you learn so much more from a failure. If you attempted any of these nail art looks, please, please, please tag me in your post. I would love to see if I could help you achieve just these fun nail art looks. I love it so much when people tag me in their nail art looks and they're like, look what I did. I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye! Odd numbers also help give a randomized look to your nail art, as it helps look not purposeful. You know what I'm saying? Being a teacher's hard.